Hello and welcome to Saurav's classes. My name is Ashmita, and in today's class we are going to discuss about certain questions, that is multiple choice questions based on general economics. So let's start discussing the questions which are provided to you on the screen. First question says demand for a commodity refers to. Now, what do you understand by demand for a commodity? Now, demand for a commodity refers to the quantity of a commodity, all right, which is demanded that the consumers are willing and are able to purchase at a certain price during any particular period of time. That is demand for a commodity. Okay, so we can say that number D will definitely go. So the correct answer over here would be number D. All right. The second question says contraction of demand is the result of what? Okay, so basically here contraction of demand is the result of increase in price of the good which is concerned. Okay, so we would be choosing number B as the correct option. All right, moving over to the next question. Do follow the next question. All but one of the following are assumed to remain the same while drawing an individual's demand curve for a commodity. So which one is it? So they are telling that only one among the following options would remain the same while drawing an individual's demand curve for a commodity. Which one would it be? Let me tell you, your answer would be number C, that is price will remain constant. Now, why? Because only one, that is only the price changes. Only one, that is price changes, and all the others are like price of the related goods, like the income, like the taste, like the preference remain constant. All right, while drawing an individual's demand curve for a commodity, all these remain constant. Only one, that is price changes. The next question is, which of the following pairs of goods is an example of substitutes? Okay, so before moving over to the answer, we need to know what are substitutes. Now, substitutes are those goods which can be used in place of each other. So here we can term number B as the correct answer, because we can use tea instead of coffee and coffee instead of tea. So both are substitutes to each other. All right, let us move over to the next question. The next question says, in case of a straight line demand curve meeting the two axes, the price elasticity of demand at the midpoint of the line would be, you have to choose the answer. Now your answer would be number B, that is 1. Why? Because under point method, that is LS by US, midpoint of the line on demand curve elasticity will be equal to 1. Do follow the next question, that is the law of demand, assuming other things to remain constant, establishes the relationship between what does the law of demand establish, and between which two things this law of demand works? Your answer would be number B, that is the law of demand basically assumes other things to remain constant and establishes the relationship between the price of a good and the quantity which is demanded. All right, question number 7, that is identify the factor which generally keeps the price elasticity of demand for a good low. Okay, so your answer would be number B, that is its low price. Now what happens over here is that generally very low price good have low price elasticity and varieties of uses. Okay, like close substitutes are there, higher proportion of consumers' income have more elasticity. So number B would be the correct option. Do follow the next question, that is identify the coefficient of price elasticity of demand when the percentage increase in the quantity of a good demanded is smaller than the percentage fall in its price. So over here your answer would be number C. Now what is the formula for the price elasticity of demand? It's a percentage of delta Q divided by percentage of delta P. So from here we can conclude that percentage of delta Q is basically smaller than the percentage of delta P. that is price elasticity of demand, will be less than 1, that is smaller than 1. Okay. Question number 9. In case of an inferior good, the income elasticity of demand is it would be negative. You know why it would be negative? Because there is an inverse relationship between the demand for the inferior goods and also the income for the consumer. Thus, the income elasticity of demand for the inferior goods would be negative. Okay. Next question says, if the demand for a good is inelastic, an increase in its prices will cause the total expenditure of the consumers of the goods to. Now, here they are talking about if the demand for a good is inelastic and there is an increase in its price, which will cause the total expenditure of the consumers of the goods to what? Now your answer would be number B. Why? Because since the demand for the good is inelastic over here, it means that is E is lesser than 1. Alright. So it means that there is a direct relationship between the price and the total expenditure. Thus, with the increase in the price, the total expenditure will also increase. Alright. If regardless of changes in its price, the quantity demanded of a good remains unchanged, then the demand curve for the good will be vertical. All right. Why? Because you see, since the quantity demanded remains unchanged regardless of the change in its prices, therefore the commodity has like a perfectly inelastic demand, which is basically E is equal to 0. All right. And in this case, demand curve will be vertical. Moving over to the next question, that is number 12. The law of demand is what? The law of demand is a qualitative statement. All right. The law of demand is a qualitative statement as it only explains the trend of the law of demand. All right. And tendency is always treated as qualitative statement. The next question says that a movement along the demand curve for soft drinks is best described as. Okay, so here it is best described as a change in the quantity demanded. Why? Because a movement along the demand curve also it's known as change in quantity demanded. So that's why we have chosen option number C. If the good is a Let us follow the next question, that if a good is a luxury, its income elasticity of demand is. The answer would be number C. Why? Okay, so positive and greater than 1 would be the answer, because you see there is a greater relationship between the demand for luxury goods and the income of the consumer. All right. So thus the income elasticity of the demand for the luxury goods would be positive, and hence their elasticity of demand is positive, and hence it is also greater than 1. Moving over to the next question, that is, do follow. The price of hot dogs increases by 22% and the quantity of hot dogs demanded falls by 25%. This indicates that demand for hot dogs is. So your answer would be number A. Why? Because you know price elasticity of demand, the formula is like percentage of delta Q is divided by percentage of delta P. Now, if I put the numbers which are provided over here, that is 25% and 22%, like 25% divided by 22%. So this is coming to 1.13%. All right. So thus we can conclude that E is greater than 1, and hence we are considering number A to be the correct option, that is elastic to be the correct option. Let us move over to the next question, that is, if the quantity demanded for beef increases by 5%, when the price of chicken increases by 20%, the cross price elasticity of demand between beef and chicken is, okay, so we have to calculate this one. Obviously, the formula, if we put, that is cross price elasticity, which is equal to percentage delta QX, that is we are considering the quantity demanded of beef, that is the increased quantity demanded of beef, that is 5% we are considering, and which is divided by the percentage delta PY, that is the price of the chicken, which increases by 20%. So if we put the formula like this, then we have 5% divided by 20%, which is coming to 0.25%. So that's your answer, that is number B. Given the following four possibilities, which one results in an increase in the total consumer expenditures? Your answer would be number D, that is demand is inelastic and prices rises. All right, that is your answer. Why? Because increase, if we consider the option increase in total expenditure will have two effects on prices. Like if the price rises, then demand will be inelastic, and if the price falls, then the demand is elastic. All right, so in the present case, when we are just going through this question, when total expenditure increases, then demand will be inelastic with rise in price, because there is a direct relationship between the price and the total expenditure. All right. So that's it for today's class. If you want to solve questions like this, and if you want to prepare for your entrance examinations or any kind of other preparations if you are doing, then you can join Saurav's classes. We at Saurav's classes will provide you with live lectures, recorded lectures, portal access, which will be available to all the enrolled candidates 24/7. We will also provide you with study materials, which would be provided at your doorstep, and we will also provide you with crash course facilities, scholarship facilities, mock test facilities, worksheets after every sessions, and so on. If you want to buy our study materials directly, then you can also go over to Amazon and Flipkart and buy from there. Or if you want to enroll in our classes, then you can just call us, and you can also visit the website, that is www.sauravsclasses.com. From there you can get much better knowledge about how we work and what kind of classes, what kind of preparation that you have to go through under our guidance. We basically teach for all kinds of competitive examinations and all kinds of entrance examinations. So if you are preparing hard for anything, you can just join our classes and get all the guidance. That's it for today's class. We are going to meet once again in our next classes. Do check the description box for the details, that is the website and the phone number. Do call us and we will provide you with all the help that you need.